You know this man, I mean, you don't know this man.
No.
Yes, I follow you, please.
Hey, my bag. My bag! Hey! Wait! My passport was in that bag.
You want this bag?
Yeah.
500,000 or cannot provoke me. I'm very dangerous.
Don't tell me you are going to propose to me with that thing. You have no direction, you have nothing. How do you ever think you could marry me?
I was going to get my life together. And I want you to be a part of it.
Oscar, not to you. Or now.
Hey, welcome to the channel. Today I will be summarizing the movie Passport, released in the year 2022, starring Mercy Johnson, Zubby, Jide, Kosoko, and many more. If you are here to see this movie, I would recommend you do. It's a 7 for me. I don't care what those online reviewers say, but if you are undecided, sit back, like, subscribe, and let's get to it.
Come out from that chair.
So the movie tells the story of Oscar, a 30-year-old man who comes from a rich home. Because of his social status, he finds it easy to be a condescending and proud man. He's wasteful with his parents' wealth, blowing it all up in the club and expensive things. He, however, decided to turn a new leaf, but that doesn't stop his mother from putting a restriction to his access to her money and having his sister manage the company. To show how grown up he could be, he flew in from London for his long-time girlfriend's birthday party and to ask her to marry him. But things quickly go south when his old friends who believe he's dipped in gold started ordering expensive drinks, which all amounted to 4 million naira. His effort to source money from them or his sister ended in futility, and his girlfriend, embarrassed on his behalf, cleared the debt. At this point, I would be ashamed to go on with the proposal, but not Oscar. When they got home, he went on to propose with his mother's relic ring, which should be in a museum. She declines the proposal, pointing out how he isn't man enough to make decisions, not alone a long-time commitment to her. Following that, he spends the night in a hotel and is picked up by his uncle, who then informs him of his ill mother in London. Seeing how he has nothing left to do in the country, he readies to leave for London, but his flight is scheduled for 6 p.m. and uncle offers to drive him to the airport. Meanwhile, in Brown Street, a community in the ghetto plagued with inadequate medicine in the hospital, poor drinking water, and a lot of out-of-school children, Kosoko, a tomboy woman, shows her desire to contest for chairman of the motor park against Terminator, the current chairman, to bring change to the community. Since the ghetto is made of a patriarch system and the men are mostly misogynist, they shut her down at every point and even raised the fund to 20,000 naira, knowing she couldn't afford it. Her sister, who goes by the name Mighty, and her boyfriend Toby believe in Kosoko's dream for a change and help by putting out posters of her to create awareness. Kosoko's greatest motivation is her sick mother, whose condition only gets worse, and when taken to the hospital, the nurses advise them to take her mother to a teaching hospital with medicine because they had none. This makes Kosoko more worried because there too, they would need money, which she had none. And even what her sister has is insufficient. Her sister, tired of her constant lack of money, calls her out on it, and Kosoko gets really emotional because she knows how hard she's hustling in the ghetto, mainly dominated by the misogynistic men.
Because I know, say, if I make medicine go put this hospital, you go back to school. I dey hustle. Okay, na in life, just put me. I dey hustle.
Meanwhile, in London, Oscar's mom is improving, but she's still worried about Oscar's whereabouts, seeing that it's even her birthday and he isn't there to wish her a happy one. This agitates his sister, Sylvia, who puts a call to him. After the call, something unfortunate happened. They had a flat tire and uncle leaves to get a spare in the neighborhood while Oscar is left to remove the flat. Being naive with the components of the car, he struggled to find his way around it, and at this point, Mighty and Toby came to his rescue. He most certainly thought they were God sent, but instead robbed him of his bag containing his passport. A chase ensued and he lost them. He relayed everything to Uncle after they had fixed the car, and Uncle identified the culprit after Oscar's description of them. They headed to Kosoko's house, but Oscar's condescending nature and Kosoko's hood and emasculating nature were a terrible miss. They instead threw words at each other, and when push came to shove, Kosoko resulted in chasing them with a cutlass. Mighty and Toby's excitement and ambitions were cut short when they realized that Oscar is only foreign in English and his bag contained no dollars. But the total of what they had, Toby left for her so she could add to her mom's hospital bills. She quickly took the bag to Prof, a scrap buyer and employee of Terminator, who plays on her intelligence and gives her less amount for the content in hopes they are worth more. He's left disappointed when Terminator and his goon came in later, using their Yahoo prowess. They discovered the ATM cards had no relevant money in them but left with a bag. Oscar and Uncle had Kopiko arrested, but that proved to be as useless as the individuals holding her. They couldn't keep her because of lack of evidence, and neither could he charge her to court, since that could even take more time. They resulted in pleading with her to help them find her sister, even though Oscar had refused earlier. Pleading with her was an excruciating endeavor that exhausted Oscar. Being a drama queen, she initially charged them 500k, but later settled for 100, which he was going to send to her when he got to London. Even at that, she continued to waste their time, and of course, Oscar, having no filters, doesn't hold back his displeasures. Kopiko, having an RPG for a mouth, doesn't hold back either. After much, they later found Mighty at home. After taking 1 or 2 slaps, she came clean with the current holder of the bag and passport. Tobe wanted to include something, but being a scarce stammerer, the odds were against him and Kopiko sent him home. They then went on to meet Prof, who wanted to extort them of 50k before he could speak, since Oscar had no money. Uncle again stepped in to bankroll him. They left to withdraw the cash from a POS stand, and there Oscar and Kopiko really got at it again. This time, his insults got to her and they split up. Uncle didn't take this well and reprimands Oscar for his attitude. They then went on to approach Prof themselves. After taking their money, that's when he revealed Terminator had a bag, which means it was redundant of him to take their money in the first place, and Oscar really wanted to beat him. They then went on to Terminator's place, but Uncle chickened out, leaving Oscar to face him alone. He was received by Terminator's goons, who really tried to instill fear of God in him, before finally letting him meet their boss. For the bag, Terminator charged him 500k. Having no money, Oscar begs his sister to make a transfer to him, but she thinks he's lying about his situation and ends the call. Left with little options, he steals the bag while Terminator's goons were distracted by the match showing on the TV. He got caught and Terminator understood how important the bag was to him and tells him to fight him for it. Meanwhile, Toby retrieves Oscar's passport from the ditch it fell into when they robbed him. This appears to be what he tried to say to Kopiko. Oscar agreed to the fight, throwing some empty punch. Rather than receiving his bag, he got handed his butt. While Terminator was celebrating his win, Oscar took the opportunity to hit him from the back and escaped with the bag. A chase ensued and he managed to lose them, but after emptying the content of the bag, he couldn't find his passport. For some reasons, Toby came to Terminator's territory, and being Kopiko's man, he was declared a spy. They retrieved the passport after searching him and then detained him. Oscar relays his failures to his uncle, who tells him they had to go back to Kopiko, as she's the only one who could face Terminator and get the passport back. But she refused, even after Oscar had given his almost sincere apology. Her attention is then drawn to her sick mom inside, and when Oscar saw this, it made him remember his own mom. Realizing they had something in common, he felt empathy for her and took her mom to a real hospital. The doctor said her mom is going to be alright, and for the first time they talked like human beings who just found respect for each other. Kopiko tells him the condition that made Crayfish burn and how she really had huge aspirations for her life and the community. Oscar reviews the case with his mother and why he needed to be in London. Since that information has been alien to her all this while, she quickly set out to get his passport from Terminator. Since the bag contains some of Terminator's valuables he would want back, they planned to exchange them for Oscar's passport. Terminator agreed to their terms and the exchange was made, but he then accused Kopiko of spying on him with Toby, and since she couldn't live without him, they got into a bit of a struggle and Terminator pulled a gun. Kopiko tells him to shoot, not anticipating he would, but he did. Uncle and Oscar rushed out to the hospital. Since it was too late, Oscar missed his flight and Kopiko's situation wouldn't make him leave anyway. He came to see them the next day and Mighty thanks him for taking care of their bill and even calls him uncle. Even though he's no longer in a hurry to leave the country, he revealed his mother was recovering well also. That night, after Kopiko was discharged from the hospital, Prof came with the good news. Terminator had fled since he shot her and now the chairman's seat was vacant, and the people of the community were behind her if she still wanted to contest. But since being shot, she seemed to want to do a lot of thinking, which surprised Oscar, who then offered to take her on a vacation. I thought this G was broke though. This movie emphasizes the need for us humans to see beyond our money, our power, or the armor we put on ourselves to look tough. Because if we do, we realize that the person next to us is just a deep mirror of ourselves.